That's one issue I would like to discuss during this convention as well. That's a topic that they have been talking about it, the different organizations. One says that they will, I think they will ban boxers to participate in the league for 2 years. I think Paco doesn't have to make any statement about it. And I think the IBF, and if I'm right, it's taking it 1 year. I think we'll ban the boxers 1 year, whatever it is. I think it's a little bit difficult to
Boxing Association President Gilberto Mendoza has now seized Gervonta Davis's boxing license following the 9th round incident during his fight against Lamont Roach earlier this month. This comes after the organization received heavy backlash for their double standards. Steve Willis, the judges, and the team handling the technical review all came to rob Lamont Roach of his 26th victory.
Cards. Judge at the ringside. Eric Marlinsky scores it on 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scored about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
So,
right.
But you say you don't think he willing though.
Yeah, whatever. See, but who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Spit fuck around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But you, it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on,
Take no
ref.
time out.
You can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
And while the organization was given a chance to redeem their public image as one that practices no form of favoritism whatsoever, they disappointed the entire boxing community. The preference was there for Gervonta Davis, who was the aside during the fight as a result. Despite the human and technical errors that characterized the fight, WBA refused to overturn the result in favor of Lamont Roach after meeting to review the situation. What followed, this was some heavy criticism from the boxing community as fight fans and boxing professionals aired their uncensored opinion on what they thought about the world. Boxing Association, the WBA president deciding not to interfere with the outcome of the fight, has now seized Gervonta Davis's license and suspended any thoughts of an immediate rematch until after 1 year when he has served the full punishment. For his ignorance,
there's no studies about it. There's nothing that would say which the pros or the amateurs, which one is dangerous or which one is not. You know, I look forward to having whatever medical guidelines we need to follow and to develop in order to protect boxers. That's one thing I'm really concerned on this matter and not jump ahead, because I do believe that the International Olympic Committee allows professionals to participate in different other sports.
but this wasn't what the organization concluded initially. Well, after Davis was embarrassed by World Boxing Association super featherweight champion Lamont Roach Jr. on the first night of March, a fight that saw Davis's perfect record get tarnished by a majority draw, fans erupted with anger due to the Awai incident that took place in the 9th round of the fight. Davis had taken a knee out of nowhere, and Willis declared it a no knockdown, even though he himself had started a standing 10 count. It was later revealed that grease from Davis's hair had made its way into his eyes, making it difficult for him to see. Regardless, this directly affected the scoring, which prevented Roach Jr. from getting his hand raised in victory in the week that followed. The New York State Athletic Commission intervened, revealing that a technical issue had prevented officials from reviewing replays of the incident.
No, you guys calm down and listen to me.
Okay, hey, come on now. We're trying to get it. There you go. That's what you have to do. There you go.
Now, however, they began reviewing the incident after a formal letter from Roach's team, which should have ideally resulted in the draw being overturned into Roach's victory by decision. Meanwhile, in a now deleted report on the WBA website, an article tried to defend Willis's decision, suggesting that from our perspective, Willis's decision was not unreasonable or unjustifiable. It also explained he ruled in real time that Davis had not been struck by a punch before going down, and therefore no knockdown should be recorded.
What you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak on it.
Can't speak on that?
Yes.
He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak on it.
You have no personal opinion, nothing?
Judges, by regulation, must follow the referee's rulings. They do not have the authority to override his decisions on knockdowns. Some skeptics have suggested that Willis's call benefited Davis unfairly, but we do not subscribe to that notion, it added. Since this report came to light, the World Boxing Association received a ton of backlash, which may have been the reason why it was since removed from their website. However, after the justification provided in the article became a point of contention, the World Boxing Association President Gilberto Mendoza Jr. issued an official statement on the now-deleted report.
And it would be a lot of energy, a lot of things to do. I'd rather try to find a plan to do it. That's one thing we noticed. Regarding the rest, I hope you can enjoy China, enjoy the fortune of WBA China doing this.
Please stop misleading an opinion from a collaborator of the WBA boxing website. Mendoza wrote, "He doesn't belong to any committee, has no influence, or has an opinion in any matter of our association." Meanwhile, Roach also expressed his frustration in a tweet, writing, "Y'all are tweaking if y'all think Buddy was off for some stuff or had an off night. That stuff is just different there with me. I told y'all from the start, just because I, and everybody else too, feel like I won, y'all are acting like I said he was easy work or some stuff. The knockdown gives me a UD," he added.
Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still, Roach leaned with right. He took a knee. He took a knee.
You take a knee like that, that looks like a knockdown. All right? Back up. Back up.
That's a generous call from him. Did he not take a knee?
Take the mouthpiece to come out.
And that's right there.
Afterwards, the World Boxing Association President Gilberto Mendoza began pushing for an immediate rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach Jr. after their controversial majority draw. Mendoza believed the controversy warranted a rematch. "I think there's not going to be any doubt about having a rematch on this," he told The Ring. "We need to send a strong message out there. If the World Boxing Association formally orders the fight, Davis and Roach would have 120 days to run it back. Roach, who was a major underdog, now awaits his chance at redemption." Meanwhile, Davis, after seeing the backlash online because of the knee, insists he welcomes a rematch. However, the fate of a rematch remains unclear as of now that Gervonta Davis's license has been ceased.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Force another comparison I don't want to make to Mike Tyson, but
Now that's crazy. That's what he do, he get dirty.
Having said that, it appears the report was published on the World Boxing Association website by mistake, or could be a highly opinionated view of the fight, which the World Boxing Association doesn't endorse. Still, it would be interesting to see what the New York State Athletic Commission's ruling would be on the matter following the report. Would Davis get handed his first career loss, or will the so-called face of boxing go unscathed because of the sort of power and influence he has? Well, that power and influence is a big issue here, seeing how much the fight made and seeing how much of a profit it would generate for the parties involved, according to sources with knowledge. Dan Raphael states that Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach generated at least 260K buys. The report from Raphael reveals that one source has the figure at 262K.
very much in this fight in the championship rounds. Nice right uppercut, left hook. Oh, another right hand, another right left by Roach. Davis fighting on even terms here in the 11th. Both of them have landed same amount of punches.
And Roach still talking to Tank.
And Davis eats the body shot. And another left hook upstairs, right hand, left. Oh, but there's a counter left from Davis.
The decision is a majority draw.
I let
the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. One is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But two is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes.
Even though it occurred nearly 3 weeks ago, the boxing world is still buzzing about the WBA lightweight title fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. In addition to the fight being controversial due to Davis taking a knee in the 9th round and then having his face wiped off in the corner, neither of which was penalized by referee Steve Willis. The back and forth war of words between Roach and Davis since the fight ended has brought added entertainment value since the fight ended. Roach has made several appearances on Big Time Podcast to discuss the fight and keep his narrative that he should have been victorious rather than the fight being ruled a majority draw circulating, which has kept the conversation around there. Likely rematch. Alive Roach has also been active on social media, and on March 18th, he sent out one post that seems to have irked Tank's fanbase, which is likely exactly what Roach was trying to do.